Hello, work life warriors. I hope you're doing well. Today, I want to come past and talk about my book that I'm reading this week that I actually finished, which is Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, Dr. Brene Brown. I thought I had read this book. I hadn't actually. I've read The Gifts of Imperfection over and over. I felt like I had read this book because I guess it has so much of the same information in there. But after getting through, I realized that I hadn't read this, and it is such a good read. I am bummed that this is my first time reading it. I will probably reread it every year. It is such a great read. It had so many gems in it, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to read it. Now, I just want to finish. I think I did one or two other videos about this. I had so many. Can you see? I had so many what's it called, notes, which recently I've been having a lot of notes, but I didn't used to have a lot of notes. But this one I have many notes. I think I did one or two other videos, but this is the last video for it, and it's something that I really want to talk about, and it's a quote on disruptive engagement on page 187. It says, there are times when you ask questions or challenge ideas. There are times when you can ask questions or challenge ideas, but if you got a teacher that doesn't like that, or the kids in the class make fun of people who do that, it's bad. I think most of us learn that it's just best to keep your head down, your mouth shut, and your grades high. And I would love to talk about that because I did not have that gift. In Who Moved My Cheese, or I Moved My Cheese, it says having a gift of blind obedience. I did not have that. So although society did not reward me asking questions, I continue to ask them, even though my teachers did not like it. And I tell you all the time that I spent a lot of time in the principal's office because I was not afraid to ask questions. And what I realized is when I would ask these questions, a lot of the teachers did not have answers, and it embarrassed them. They felt like that I was trying to embarrass them, or that they should know, and they felt shame, and they felt all of these things, fear, and all these things tied to a student having a question that they did not know the answer to, and their ego took over, and it will create instances where I was viewed often as something that I was not, when I was just simply trying to understand, and I was curious, and I wanted to know more, and I wanted to understand it on a deeper level. They took it as disrespect. And so I had the level of the teacher making me feel some kind of way from wanting to learn, from wanting to engage and understand things at a deeper level. And then the other side of it, which was the children who, although I did get the pushback from the teacher, thought that I should learn the lesson of keeping my head down, my mouth shut, and my grades high. But I did not learn that lesson. And so even though, the teacher punished me, the students would punish me as well. So I would get it on both sides, and it never stopped me from asking questions because I feel even now questions are essential to you knowing, to you understanding, to you getting to the quality of things. You can't begin to appreciate something until you learn enough about it to understand its essence, its quality. And so I tend, to ask questions when I'm trying to understand something, regardless of if at school, at a university, it offends someone, or at work, if it offends someone. A lot of times, in the book, she talked about, how people will punish you when they see something in you that is lacking in themselves. And so when you and Who Moved My Cheese and I Moved My Cheese, they mentioned this too, like some people will hate you for asking these questions or taking accountability or responsibility over your life, because it makes them feel inadequate for not doing the same for theirs. So when you ask questions, it make them feel bad for not asking questions. Already many of us have questions that we just don't ask, and I just don't get in the habit of that. I learned early that closed mouths don't get fed, and so if I have a question, I will ask it. And so I looked around and I realized, like, okay, that is the remedy. A lot of people just keep their head down, keep their mouth shut, and their grades high, but most of these people are not happy. When I looked around, I did not see my professors happy, I didn't see my teachers happy, I didn't see my family happy, I didn't see my neighbors happy. The only happy people existed on the web, the media. For the most part, happiness was not prevalent. And so I began to wonder, like, okay, well, keeping your head down and your mouth shut doesn't really, make you better off in life. You're not happier. The quality of your life didn't improve. You don't have the type of life that you want. So what is the benefit? What is the benefit of doing that? And in my mind, if I did not want to be where you were, why would I behave the way you did? So I continue to ask my questions. And yes, of course, it affects my grades, even though I think that I should have had higher grades throughout, all of my education experience, because I wasn't just regurgitating or reiterating what someone was saying to me. I actually took the time to understand it, thought about it deeply, processed it, and gave something back, or added something, contribute something of value back, and it was just not appreciated. And so a lot of times my grades did suffer for that. And it's like, even, up until now, always, depending on if you challenging the status quo, or you want to like challenge ideas or ask questions that's outside of like the mainstream thinking, there are consequences tied to that. And the consequences come from the people who have not, done the work, as Brene said, to be comfortable with vulnerability. So you expose their vulnerability one way or another, whether it's the students or the teachers, and people punish you. Most people will punish you for that. And so even though that wasn't your intention, sometimes, being the person that challenge or ask questions or challenge ideas or push the status quo with the envelope, people are not that fond of you. They like you up until a certain point, but it's like, okay, here goes this person again, pushing the envelope, and they will withdraw love and connection and affection and just belonging from you when you just don't sit down, shut up, and just fit in and do what is expected of you. But again, I've learned that I'd rather take, my B for being authentic than to take my A for assimilating into ideas that don't belong to me, that don't make sense, that don't add value to my life, that don't help improve the quality of life, and don't add much needed value into the world. For me, I want to focus on, having integrity and living by values that, make me grow, develop, and enjoy this experience that I'm having. If I can't serve through understanding and challenging ideas, then um how, like, that's decreasing your quality of life. Like, what type of life are you living? You're not even living, you're existing. And so yeah, I just really love this book because she talked a lot about how people are not vulnerable. And I always wondered how I, you know through life, was able to maintain the spirit of curiosity and be vulnerable enough to be myself and authentic, even when I knew that I would be, punished. But I guess it's just a superpower, and I'm just extremely grateful for the opportunity, to live and to be vulnerable and experience the good with the bad, the ups with the down, a more forte, as I think it was, can't remember. It'll come to me. And yeah, just try to live my one life with the good and the bad, and Nietzsche. Live my life with the good and the bad, and to take it all in, and just to realize, like, it's an experience. Think about a roller coaster. It's not so fun, You know, when you going up and the going down is quick, but there's a lot of twist turn in between, and there's also some straightaways. So you just have to enjoy life, the good, the bad, the up, the down, the parts that make you want to hurl and sad and disappear and go into depression, and the parts that make you joyous, happy. And you just can't shut down from one without experiencing the other. You can't shut down from pain without losing joy. All of it comes with living, and you want to do more than living. When you shut down pain, you are now just existing because you also can't feel joy. And so I absolutely love this book. I will read it again. It was a great read. I recommend anyone read it if you are struggling with vulnerability, wholehearted living, if you want the quality of your life to improve, if you want the connections and relationships in your life to improve. It's a good starting point. And I read her Gifts of Imperfection. That was also an amazing book. So please tell me what you think. Have you read this book? What was your favorite part of the book? What did you learn? What lessons did you learn? Do you agree with me about asking questions and challenging the status quo? Tell me, share with me your thoughts about what vulnerability means to you, what asking questions mean to you. Do you ask enough questions? Should you ask more questions? So, yes, I hope this helps, work life warriors. Please enjoy your day.